Hello and welcome to Reasons Are Debatable, where we look at one topic from many angles and offer bad advice that you didn't know you needed. My name is Matt.
I'm Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. Still social distancing, of course.
Are you still 6 feet away from me? I'm
Yes.
trying to get really close to you right now.
Yeah, get away. God damn it. I can smell your breath.
Woo!
I mentioned last week you can catch Neil on his other show, Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks. Go to darkangelandprettyfreaks.com. Check that out.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. And you can also catch me talking more U2 with Chris and Kristen Meyer on our liner notes. Look that up. Part 2 is out. Part 3 should be coming up this week. So go to at O-Liner Notes on Twitter and check that shit out.
Tweeter.
Talking U2, brah.
Tweeter. Good episodes. I've been enjoying them.
Thank you so much. Neil, let me ask you this.
Freaking let's get after it, bruh.
Do you respect borders or just feel like they're arbitrary lines drawn up by muckety mucks?
Arbitrary lines drawn up by muckety mucks.
I had to get muckety muck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we continue to honor borders and boundaries just because of the way they were established in the past and, sometimes, centuries ago?
No.
What if we remove those borders? Would that create a problem as far as resources, governance, representation, etc.?
Taxation, things like that? No.
Well,
it would
taxation, of course, but also the services that are provided for those regions.
It would be seamless.
You think
without
so?
any. Oh,
Just
absolutely.
wide open.
Just wide open. We're
So just one big government.
We are now just America.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so
There's
much.
no
so
United States. We're just America.
Gotcha. And,
Yeah.
and so you're talking just about states. So as far as the border between countries, though, like when it comes to our southern border,
No.
we should
The whole world is now America.
you still want to build that wall, though. The whole world is America.
Yeah. Yeah. No
As it
borders
should
at all,
be.
as it should be. English is the chosen language.
Thank
We're
God.
changing everything from metric back to imperial.
I like it.
And yeah, no, but you're right. The one border will be the southern border.
Just the southern border. Have that wall.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
What else
folks,
are you gonna do?
you have walls in your house, right?
Right.
I mean,
Got walls.
you, Neil, you got a fence around your backyard.
I do.
mean-
My border says no.
We got to go.
No. What are your thoughts on borders? You into them? You like them? You're a border fan? Are you a border fan?
Huge border fan. Everybody knows this about me.
Yeah.
Matt loves borders.
Border fan. He was
guy's
loving
all
borders
about it.
before borders were a thing.
I try to make them wherever I go. But nope, we're going to section this
No,
off
this
right
is
here.
done. Yeah, you carry a bunch of like chain link fence with you. One of those little puppy
Police
gate
tape.
things.
Yeah. The puppy gate, even better. Sorry, excuse me. Respect my space. Yeah. The reason I brought this up is because.
Well, yeah, you're a fan and you want to do nothing but talk borders.
I just want to
bro.
talk borders. And this show is going to just turn into only border talk.
That's it.
Border talk with Neil and Matt.
Reasons for borders.
Borders are several. See?
Oh, borders
Shit, we
are
missed the
debatable.
boat. We missed that's true. They are
There you
debatable. The reason I brought this up is because there have been some fairly recent proposals for rewriting borderlines.
Mm-hmm. Borderline.
Keep on pushing. Oh man, are we drunk? But these are all mostly United States relevant, so keep that in mind. The one that I want to talk about first was one that came up a few years ago and actually almost got on to the 2018 ballot in your home state of California.
My neck of the woods.
They call it Cal 3, right? Is that what the Cal 3 proposal? So that nearly got on your ballot, although it failed at some point late in the game. But it's because, well, for many reasons.
Yeah, one
of
was
which being-
against the law.
One of which being it didn't jive with state or federal constitutions.
Right.
That it would have created 2 new states, making us have 52 states instead of 50, which the federal government might have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Puerto
And I'm
Rico
sure-
wasn't happy about it either.
No.
Nor was
and I'm
DC.
sure- or Guam. Yeah, they're all
Oh,
mad.
fuck Guam.
Oh, wow.
Strong words about Guam.
I support Guam just so we can differentiate between the two of us. Matt is the Guam guy.
This is the show I'm throwing down the Guam gauntlet. Which
Well,
sounds like a dessert made in Guam.
It does. It's tasty. They were going to break it up into Northern California, which was basically like San Jose up. Right? They were going to do California, which I thought was a bit lame. That they were just going to
presumptuous.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was essentially the coastline from about Big Sur down to like just south of LA, like Santa Ana-ish, right? And then Southern California, which becomes a bit of a misnomer in some ways, is inland California, like Fresno, and then on down to Bakersfield, and then wrapping around to San Diego.
The more conservative areas.
Right. All the way down to the border wall.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
That one you can cut through?
Can you? Do you know?
Apparently you can. Very easily.
Stay tuned for more information on that.
I'm cutting borders, man.
What did you think of the plan?
I loved it. I thought this is a great idea. Sometimes I think that rich West Coast people just have way too much time on their hands.
They got to
come up. Some rich conservative guy goes, you know what? You know what I want? I want my own state. I think we can do this.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Some people might go for it. The amazing thing, and that is going to be a theme throughout all the different ones I'm going to talk about here, there's several more, is that there is a group that is supportive of this, and it's a large group.
It is.
And it's typically a rural group.
Yes. It's usually a more conservative, white, rural.
Here we go again, ripping on white conservatives.
Well, I'm just saying.
Jeez.
You can't lie. You can't change the facts, man. I just like saying white.
You do.
Yeah.
You do like to say that a lot.
I do. It makes people so uncomfortable.
It's you like to label.
Yeah. Well, just white people.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
As a white person, what did you think of the Cal 3?
It was insanity.
Which I wanted to name C3PO, but
that's
Cal
pretty
3.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see how you could make it work. I mean, the thing is this. I get that we created these borders years and years and years and years ago. Should they have the flexibility to readjust for modern times? Sure, but I don't understand how you would. It's just like we're so entrenched. How would you even possibly make that work and not cause a huge clusterfuck?
Yeah, it is interesting, but I do have some kind of like pipe dream that it would be neat if it was just America, and and we didn't have state borders. So
right now, because we just keep zeroing in, it's state, county, city, whatever, neighborhood, whatever. So as you go down that, you want all that to be just washed out. No counties, no states.
That's where it gets. I'd start with the no states, but you need to have a way to have people represented in government. Right. So you need to find a way. It's almost like if you could create like a large, like if you took part of the land and you kind of divided it up into almost equal sections across the state and like gave them each a name, and then you could say. Every one of these areas gets a certain amount of representation based by population. And then within that, you kind of break them into smaller groups for like local and things like that. That's what I think would work the best.
That's a great plan.
Yeah. But again, it would just be called America Man. Not America Man. That's America the comic book that comes America out later. Man. It's America Man.
But those that high level groups that you break it into, you could call them states.
Well, I don't think we should look backwards. I don't think we should look backwards. I think I would call
provinces.
them.
Go look north. Go province.
Yeah, or call them sectionals.
Oh,
like
sectionals.
it's a sofa.
I like that.
Yeah, it's sectional, and then the smaller things would be called like you could call them like hummels.
No, I thought you were gonna say like area rug.
That's not bad. That would be like in the rural area. Yeah. Right. Area rug. Hey, what area rug are you on? Oh.
Mind your own business.
Yeah. And I would also say that the hummels as well as the larger areas could only be named after animals, like sports teams.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, sports teams can be named after anything, obviously,
How many of these groupings are you going to do, though? See, the thing that
50.
Oh. I already thought about it. 50.
Yeah, 50. 50 hummels.
You've really backward engineered this really well.
This is good.
I think it's going to work out.
I do. I'd also institute a flat tax across the board.
Okay.
And minimum wage.
For every all the same.
All the same, and all houses would cost the same too.
That is going to be tricky.
So if you want to buy a house, in like rural Mississippi, it will cost the same as if
living
you bought
downtown San Francisco.
Sure, or like along the coast, like in Malibu.
Yeah, this all sounds like a brilliant plan.
It worked. They tried this in Sweden. That's how Sweden became its own Hummel, and it's working great.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You ever buy a house in Sweden?
No.
Well,
not yet.
do the research.
I'll work on that.
Yeah.
This plan is fantastic. To me, I was getting worried when you first started that because it sounded like you were going to break it into such small chunks that there were going to be like 2,000 different areas that are all equally represented. And I was like,
that's a good plan too.
this is going to turn into the Galactic Senate. We've seen how that ends in Star Wars. That shit goes south quick. There's way too many people weighing in.
Way too many, aliens.
Exactly. Oh, boy.
Weighing in.
And the next thing you know, you got a chancellor. Shit goes south quick. So we got to avoid that. But I like your plan. I think you should flesh it out a bit more and really put pen to paper and just submit this.
If you could recreate our wonderful country. Somebody
I thought I heard somebody.
The look on your face was like,
"Who's there?
Ghosts come in."
Somebody's in the teepee.
There's eyes. If you could recreate the lines that divide us in this country,
that's
racial, economic. No, how would you keep it the way it is? Would you make the states different? Would you have more or less? What would you like to see?
It just sounds like so much work.
But let's say you got
I would do it.
A blank America. It's like a blank check.
I'll tell you this. There's a movement that we're going to get to at the end that I might be on board for.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
Before we get to that, there's a few, as we kind of move north from California up the coastline, and there's some other interesting ones that have come up over the years. So there's the state of Jefferson.
Okay.
Because, there's a Washington state. So this originated years ago, like 19th century. Which, as my mother would always say, no, that'd be your 1800s. I'm like, yes, good. So, poor mom, pour one out. In the 40s, this movement picked up steam to have like some rural southern Oregon counties join with some rural northern California counties to form the state of Jefferson. So, and the capital cities that were thrown around were like Wairika. Yeah. Port Orford in Oregon toward the coast, and Redding. Oh,
Wairika and Redding, too, freaking.
That's what I'm saying. Whew. Dude, we got listeners there. No, we probably
don't. We might.
If the original grouping that they were talking about, it was going to be like today, it would be just under 500,000 people. So quite a significant chunk of people.
Yeah.
But then they've expanded it to include like Medford and Shasta and Coos County and all this other stuff. So now it's more like 2.5 million. So it's a lot of fucking people.
We're getting big, yeah.
But it's all rural, or for the most part, rural or smaller cities.
But see, one thing I don't like about the states is their shapes. They need to be like more geometrically sound. I don't like like Idaho. Like what's going on in Idaho? Why does it look like that? Why isn't it a square?
Well, as you know,
or a rectangle, a parallelogram.
Big border guy here.
Yeah,
as you know,
big border fan.
Geographic, landscapes.
There's a T-shirt for you. Big border fan.
Big border fan. Geographic landscapes often dictate a lot of those shapes.
These people never hear dynamite. They don't know how to.
I think that's not a good idea. You've also got rivers and shit like that are going to forge, those borders as well.
Tell me the geographic phenomena that's separating us into California and Nevada. Nothing there. Flat.
The Sierra Nevada. No.
Aside from those. Okay. Wyoming and Arizona.
They are not bordering each other.
There you go. You see what I'm saying here?
Exactly my point.
Yeah. And Idaho, why does it look like it's erect?
Because it's meant to be. It was kind of oozed in there. I think they wedged it in there. Like, here's Montana.
They poured it down
Washington.
from Canada.
They poured right in and filled it part of the way. So that's an interesting one. There's another one called the State of Liberty, which is a pretty current initiative. It basically splits the state of Washington in half, moving central and eastern part of Washington kind of east of the Cascade Mountain Range. And so there's a lot of people, based on what you read, that are supportive of this as an option, which is crazy. But a couple fun facts I found about State of Liberty, which I think is going to make you maybe more enticed to live there. So they have already designated a state bird.
Oh, which bird?
Which is the osprey.
Okay, fair enough.
State animal is the cougar.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Would you like to guess what the state rifle is?
AR-15.
Nailed it.
Nice. One of my favorites.
What? I looked on their website.
I wish it was not the state gun, just state weapon.
Yeah, no, it's state rifle. We want to leave the door open for other weapons.
Yeah,
let's not
and the state knife. Yeah,
yeah. Let's not let the AR-15 take all weapons here.
That's true.
You know
Fair enough.
Exactly? So state martial arts weapon. Gonna go with the nunchucks. So that's another one, and then there's Greater Idaho, and this is actually what caught my eye.
Had to get in there because they just don't feel good about themselves
because they've been poured into that. They've been poured into that little spot. They're pissed off about it. They want to ooze out. They want to put a leak in the bottom of Idaho.
Spread their juices.
Exactly. So this story was what caught my eye and that made me think about borders because I'm always thinking about borders.
Yeah.
So
big border fan.
It's essentially an expansion of Idaho. This is an idea that's being spearheaded by a nice Estonian American man. After his failed city council run.
Yeah.
He's just going for broke.
She's like, I need a bigger state. This state isn't big enough for me.
So this would add parts of eastern and southern Oregon, as well as parts of northeastern California to the current state of Idaho. So essentially it's almost doubling their size, and it gives them Pacific Ocean access. So now
that's what
ports.
They want. Right.
Exactly. So the residents that are driving this argue that this is, quote, a movement to try to maintain our rural values. Read, these people are like historically from Confederate states and want to stay away from those, quote, libtards.
Yeah. I don't understand why people want to do this. It's like they're unhappy with the state they live in because of the politics, and as opposed to having the guts to move to a state where they do fall more in line with the politics or their
trying
views.
To reshape the political views of the state you're in.
Right. They decide that I just want to break this piece off.
Yeah.
It's lame.
Right.
If your ideas are so great, the rest of the state would be on board. Go to a state that feels that way.
Love it or leave it. They're just trying to take everybody with them.
Good episode this week. Good, nice pull.
Yeah. They're trying to break off, like you said. They want to leave it, but they want to take everybody with them and their land.
To me, it sounds like a little spoiled, not necessarily spoiled, but a kid who's not having his way. He goes, no one is invited, can come into my room anymore, and I'm not coming out. And this is my room, my rules, And
Some
you're
of the
like,
stuff I've been dealing with the social distancing.
Exactly.
I'll tell you right
and
now.
it's kind of like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah. I don't think my younger son understands that once he annexes himself, he's cut off from resources and he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those fucking chocolate chip cookies aren't going to make their way to your room, pal.
That's it. And then there's always the, that's funny because the bathroom's out here.
Here's
a bucket.
Got
a bucket on the front porch you can use.
Oh, fuck. Forgot about that. Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities between these regions that keep popping up. I mean, this one also includes like Medford, Coos Bay, Bandon for you golfers.
For you
in
golfers.
Oregon, and then Redding and Weed.
Yeah.
In California. So
all these places I see as I drive to see you.
That's right. These places that you go through. So I just thought it was interesting, these little pockets that even multiple different versions of it. So, one is let's make the state of Jefferson. They're like, well, let's just fucking join with Idaho. They're just spitballing ideas to try to come together.
What if we just allowed people to do this to the point where now the states or these areas overlap? So you are in Liberty, but you're also part of Jefferson. You're also part of California. You just let them just keep overlapping. You're like, yeah, that's fine. You got that too. Cool. No problem. Yeah, just call it Liberty.
That's a lot of bumper stickers to throw on the back of your truck.
That's right.
Yeah, that could get confusing. I don't know what, I mean, I'm trying to picture what would it be like to be in a somewhat more progressive area of a state that's broadly conservative and feeling like, you know what I mean? Like, feeling like you're...
Like we don't really belong in this state because we're kind of doing our own thing. But that's part of the state, man. That's where you live. That's just part of life. Your neighbors are different than you, and you do have different views, and it's okay to find a way to get along. You don't have to self-isolate, start quarantining, and I don't want to be around those people.
You're taking this too literally.
Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe they are. Yeah,
they are. Yeah, I think the problem too is the fact that because the political culture has gotten so volatile that I think you feel even more isolated because of the fact that the extremes have kind of pulled at the middle and pushed everybody to one side or the other.
Well, and let's say this does work, and let's say you're in a more liberal area of a conservative state and you do break away and you're like, ha, we broke away, we do our own thing, they're still your neighbors. You're still living in the same place. Now you're just saying we're going to spend more money on carob chips, or whatever liberals do.
Right, but but if you were in a house with people that you really didn't like and then you split into two houses, you'd probably be happier that they weren't actually right in your house with you. Even if they're your neighbors still.
Yeah, but
maybe that's a bad analogy.
That would be a little different though, because you're actually you have to see the people in your house, like your neighbors. You don't have to see.
I know. I'm just broadening it out to say if you're part of a community where you're all sharing the same resources and represented by the same people, isn't it somewhat similar?
I think it can be.
Well, that brings me to the last one that I was going to talk about, and that is Cascadia. Have you heard of Cascadia?
Well, I have because I read the article.
Oh, you read the article?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's an article.
I did not know of all of this before.
Okay, so I'll share these articles in our show notes just so those who care can read them. But this has kind of picked up steam in the last 30 to 40 years, and this is the one where I might be on board for this.
Okay, let's hear it.
And this would bring together Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia into one entity. So now we're crossing international borders to form a unit. Some proposals also include bits of Idaho.
Oh, fucking Idaho.
Trying to get their dirty paws on everything.
Idaho's just part of, they're like, what?
Wait, we're in.
Yeah. Is Georgia and Florida breaking off, and we want part of that?
We just want a little pocket.
Yeah. We'll just do a real skinny line all the way down.
The leak that runs, Idaho leak.
That's it.
Bro, we got potatoes.
Yeah. 6 feet wide, all the way down through all the states.
So parts of Idaho, and then also parts of Northern California as well. Although I don't think it gets quite to your neck of the woods.
Northern California is another one true North California is another one that always wants to break off for some reason, join other people.
Well, and so there's always that. I was going to ask you this before when we were talking about Cal 3. There's always been kind of that Northern California animosity. Mm-hmm. I don't think you feel it necessarily, but a lot of people do. The
NorCal, SoCal.
Yeah, where they feel like we're two very different states, essentially. They kind of look at each other as, fuck them, And have you ever felt that way? Because you were born in SoCal, right?
Right. No, I don't feel that way at all. I think
we're all, because you just want everybody to be one in America.
We're America. No, I don't have that. I was a Giants or am a Giants fan coming to baseball, but I wasn't a Dodger hater. So I didn't have that either. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
We're just all people, man. We're all trying to get along.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah. Why hate on SoCal? I like it. I don't like Los Angeles proper. It's not the greatest city ever, but the whole all of California. Even when I drive up to see you and I see those big freaking posters or billboards on the side of the road. Well, actually they're spray painted plywood that says get out of my country, build a wall. I feel like I'm in America.
Yeah, then you're home.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I'm thinking if they made it that far north, they're probably not just going to run back and go back home.
No, but it's funny because being in Portland, we have so many transplants from especially Northern California that I basically feel like I'm in the Bay Area anyway.
Yeah.
So that was what my school experience was too.
I mean, we've really helped you guys out with property values and better food and beer for sure. So you guys do owe us something. We should take part of Oregon.
We had the beer before.
I don't know. Agree to disagree.
Fine. You're just taking benefit in our strip clubs. That's what you're doing.
That's my sister. That's what my sister's doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's not paint that picture. Neil's sister is not a stripper, just so you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
We don't know.
Well, that's true.
Do you know? Have you been to all of them at all shifts? She might be running the Tuesday mid-morning shift.
You've been to all of them, all shifts. Yes. I had a fucking bingo card I filled out.
I am exhausted.
Oh, my God. It is 7 a.m. I do not want to go to a strip club. It's a Wednesday. I don't want to do this. I got to go. Nope. Fabiana's not here.
Nope.
Check it off. Hi, does she work tonight?
Uh-huh.
Who? Never mind.
I think her stage name is Cherry Drip.
Oh, God.
She doesn't have borders either.
Oh, my God. We might never come back from this.
Uh-huh. All right, so tell me about this. What is it called? Chlamydia?
It's called chlamydia. No, it's called Cascadia.
Cascadia.
It's about 16 million people. So BC,
wow.
Washington, Oregon. It's becoming more and more of a tightly knit kind of triad of areas, if you will. Because of the fact that the populations are booming in all those three locations, and so they're kind of spreading, and essentially making it almost seem smaller and smaller distances to get from one to the other. They're talking about trying to make transportation much easier to and fro, Portland all the way up to Vancouver and back, high-speed trains and all that kind of shit. And so the idea has been kicked around, and it's one that it's not something I would really go for. I think it would be such a logistical nightmare. It would never work. But it's an interesting theory just because I think they feel like it's a bioregion because all three are kind of similar climates. And there's a lot of similar trains of thought that go into those three areas. And so I think they think that it could work as far as bringing those three groups together because BC is similar to Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why.
Because we want to get away from America?
We're not America. There would be America, and there would be not America.
What do we call that? Is it just not America?
It would be kind of like
side piece.
Nerica.
America side piece.
Nerica.
I thought you said Erica.
It'd be called Erica.
Canerica.
Canerica.
All of this being said, what this all makes me think of, because I'm just constantly thinking of borders.
Yeah, all the time.
Is, are we headed for a civil war?
With just in general, like North versus South, or everybody against everybody?
Everybody against each other.
Like us against Nevada, Nevada against Idaho, Idaho against fucking everybody.
Idaho against everybody for sure. Or
yeah.
Idaho sneaking in your ranks. So like you think you're fighting Idaho, but really they're actually, you know what I mean?
Coming up your six.
They're leaking in the back door.
That's it. They're leaking in the back door. They're their own cherry drip.
Oh, poor Idaho, man.
I think that's how it should be. We should just fight for our like statehoods, like
a game of Risk.
Yeah. Oh, you want Nevada and California? Freaking go attack them.
I think that would work, except for the fact that again, even within our own states, we're fighting each other.
I got this. Here we go.
Okay. Or maybe this is the unifying way.
Instead of fighting, where people actually lose their lives, Call of Duty. You have Call of Duty like esports. I guess like competitions. And so you call somebody out and you're like, hey, Nevada, I want you. And they're like, cool.
I want you.
I want you in me.
Hey, Nevada, I want you. Wow.
That's why I'm not allowed in strip clubs anymore. And then you play your Call of Duty.
She really likes me.
Yeah, she really likes me. And then you play your Call of Duty, and whoever wins gets Nevada.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's the best plan.
Oh, do you see holes in that?
I see a few holes in that. I feel like war really brings people together. I think it should just be regular, straight up war. Because there's nothing unifies people and murders a million people like war. It's
true, and it's good for the industrial complex.
It is,
Yeah.
Everybody can get behind a cause. I think it's just the problem is it's not going to be one state against another. It's going to be people within states against each other. This is why you're America with less states.
Perfect.
Oh, wait, there's still 50 of them though.
Yeah,
how are we going to do this?
They're Hummels.
Maybe we can stage it like a tournament, like the NCAA tournament. Let's get into 64 teams.
Okay.
And let's whittle it down till we get a champion, and then they fucking lay claim.
They get to say how they redraw the borders.
We might be called the United States of Idaho at the end of this.
I think we should eliminate Idaho first. We go down to 49. We swap. Okay, so Idaho gets absorbed because they want so much to be part of everything else. They get absorbed just throughout their surrounding states and part of Canada. Yep. And then we make Puerto Rico a state,
well done.
And then we're good.
So maybe Canada is just like slurps Idaho back up.
It's right back up.
Idaho's basically Canada's.
We just divide that land. Montana's a little bit bigger.
I don't know, man. I think we've solved a lot of problems.
Wyoming's bigger.
I think we've solved a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You let us know.
You really like this border stuff. I know when we first met, you were like, hey,
we first met.
Let me ask you something.
Hey, man, I just got to, kind of whisper, hey,
what do you think about borders?
Come get a beer with me at the bar. What do you think about borders? I'm just feeling you out. What do you think about borders?
Like, see how this glass, it has borders holding the beer in, but what if it did?
Exactly. That's a good thing, though.
It's a good, yeah. Right? How else are you going to drink your beer?
Yeah, if the border wasn't there, what would you going to do? Cup your hands? That's still a border.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to listen to this, but I'm glad you're here.
Everywhere I look, man, I see borders. See that painting?
Yeah.
Borders.
Borders.
See that door?
You know what a
Borders.
frame is? It's a border, man.
You see me making a border?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, on that note, let's go to Take It From Us.
Let's go there.
Our weekly segment where you, the listener, can submit your questions to us at reasonsardebatable@gmail.com or on Twitter at reasonsar, and we will ease the burden of your weighty decision that's weighing you down.
We think these things through. We give honest and thoughtful advice that has never steered anybody wrong.
No, exactly. That's correct. So send in those questions. This week's question sounds oddly familiar.
Okay.
Have a listen. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. I have this problem, and I would love your advice. Again,
Came to the right place.
To the right place.
Yeah.
I have this podcast with my husband.
Oh, boy.
Let's call it, How Was Your Day, Sweetie?
Okay.
At least she shares the
She's
title.
smart.
Yeah. The problem is that I am way funnier than he is. Just wondering how I can encourage him to just let loose and show off his comedic chops without damaging his male psyche. Thanks, and keep up the great work, boys. Kirsten Moyer.
Well,
Kirsten.
As you said, this sounds a little bit like, a question that we got recently.
Kirsten
Although
Moyer?
at this point, I would imagine that Ms. Moyer is now single. And still on the show. The How Was Your Day, Sweetie?
We don't know that this is the same people. It just could be a coincidence.
I'm thinking it might. My gut is telling me it might be.
Okay.
So I'll answer this two ways. One, you're welcome for the advice that we gave.
Christian.
Yeah.
The other guy.
But what I would say that you should do is beat the shit out of your co-host until he gets your jokes. Nothing's worse than someone who doesn't laugh at a good joke.
Wrong time to take a drink of water.
So just fucking unload on that guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Beat him into a comedic submission.
Yeah, when he starts laughing so hard that his teeth are falling out,
there you go.
Then you've won.
Just keep fucking dinging that funny bone.
Keep clicking the mouse.
Wait,
different thing.
I don't think he's got a mouse. Maybe he does.
Who
knows?
Cherry drip him.
I don't know that that's the best advice.
How dare you, sir? This is what we do.
Actually, it's great advice. I was going to say, when it comes to encouraging him to show off his comedic... What if he doesn't have comedic chops?
Yeah.
What are you going to do
chopless.
now? So now you're pushing him to do something he doesn't feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that's going to lead you to a good place. Exactly. No means no. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if this happens to be related to last week's question, are you still talking about Christian, or do you have a new guy?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. This is a new podcast with a new co-host.
Right. Maybe he proposed, hey, let's keep the podcast going. And she's like, no, I'm starting a new one.
So Miss Moyer is so fucking funny that no guys can keep up with her wit.
No, they can't contain her.
I'd say you got to switch sides of the plate. No.
Go solo.
Find yourself a wife. Someone just as funny as you, and make a really good combination scratching post podcast.
Or would that be, like...
Fist bumping? Is that what you call it?
Two heads banging, I guess. Okay. I hope they're heads.
Yeah. Get it after.
Not talking.
Apparently, Matt thinks fisting's a good idea. So,
anything's on the table at this point. I think it's the most important thing you can do, though, is to put the podcast above anything else. Personal relationships, feelings.
Change the name of the podcast to A Twist on Two Fists.
Whoa. Oh, I mean, we should get paid for this.
Oh my God.
I would lock up that URL right fucking now. I'll tell you that. That thing's probably already taken. Anyway, we hope we helped you. Kirsten.
Oh, we know we did.
Kirsten Moyer.
Ms. Moyer.
Thank you very much for listening to our show. You can find us and share your thoughts at Reasons Are on Twitter. Neil is
at AngelsFreak7.
You can email us at reasonsaredebatable. I still haven't fixed that. I have this thing written down and it still says reasons are debated. Come on, Matt. reasonsardebatable@gmail.com. If you haven't, please write a review. Please write a review.
Wow.
Tell a friend.
Tell two friends.
Your part.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell 2 friends. Tell some. Don't tell Idaho.
Yeah.
Don't tell Idaho.
No Idaho.
We don't need Idaho here. Anyway, thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
See ya.